and welcome back to Instagram for Bosses. I'm Andrea, and my mission is to simplify Instagram marketing so you can consistently attract ready-to-invest clients without posting every day or living on your phone. If you listened to last week's episode, you'll know I introduced something called the 3C formula. This is the strategic framework I use with every single AMC client to plan content that actually moves people toward a buying decision. And I promised you a full deep dive this week. So today I'm going to walk you through the 3-part content system, also known as my 3C formula, designed to turn strangers into paying clients on Instagram. This is the episode I wish every business owner could hear before they post another piece of content to Instagram. So grab yourself a coffee, your favorite pen and notebook, and let's get into it. Before I walk you through the 3 C's, I want to share something that might surprise you. When I surveyed my own clients on how they found me, most of them actually say through Google. They searched for a social media manager, my website came up, and from there, they found their way to my Instagram. And I think a lot of established service businesses have a similar story. Their clients don't always discover them on Instagram first. But here is what almost every single one of those clients did before they picked up the phone or filled out an inquiry form. They went to Instagram to check out my profile, to see what I post about, and to get a feel for who I am and whether I'm the real deal, to decide if they trust me enough to reach out. And this is why the 3C formula matters for every single service-based business owner, regardless of how their clients find them initially. Instagram is not always going to be the discovery layer, but it's almost always the validation layer. It's where a potential client goes to confirm that the decision they are already leaning into is the right one. If what they find there doesn't reassure them, they'll move on, whereas if it does, then they reach out. The 3C formula is the exact system that makes sure that what they find there does its job at every single stage of the journey. So let's talk about the 3 C's in order because the sequence matters just as much as the content itself. The first C, captivate. Captivate has one job: to make your ideal client sit up and pay attention. Think about what happens when someone lands on your Instagram for the very first time. They've probably never heard of you, they're scrolling through their feed, and they've just clicked onto your profile from a search, or maybe someone's recommended them to you. And they're now making that decision in seconds. Is this profile worth my time or not? Captivate content is what answers that question with a yes. It's the content that stops them mid-scroll, the bold opinion they didn't expect, the relatable moment that makes them think, this is me. The pattern interrupt that makes them pause for long enough to read the caption, watch the reel, or click that follow button. The target emotion for captivate content is intrigue. They should finish consuming a piece of captivate content thinking, I have to follow this account. I need to see more of this. Without captivate content, your account never grows. You're speaking to the same audience over and over without bringing in new people into your world. And new people are the lifeblood of a growing business. Now moving on to the second C, which is connect. Once they're following you, the job changes completely. They already know that you exist, and now they need a reason to stay, to keep coming back, and to start trusting you enough to eventually consider working with you. That is the job of connect content. Connect content builds the relationship. It positions you as the expert and the person that they trust to solve their specific problem. But more than that, it humanizes your brand. It makes your ideal client feel seen and understood at a level that goes beyond what you do. It speaks to who they are, what they're struggling with, and what they're hoping for. The target emotion for connect content is resonance. They should finish a piece of content thinking, wow, she really gets me. She understands my world. I feel like she's speaking directly to me. It's like she's inside my head. And here is something I want you to understand about how connect content works. It's often quite subliminal. Your potential client is not sitting there consciously cataloging every piece of content you post and tracking how much she trusts you. It happens in the background over days and weeks and sometimes even months. They see your content and they keep nodding along. They keep thinking, yes, exactly. That's exactly how I feel. And trust then builds without them even realizing it. By the time they're ready to reach out, it's like they just already know. They can't always tell you specifically what made them feel that way, just that they had this feeling that you are the right person to solve their unique problem. You understand them. So working with you is the next obvious step, right? That feeling is connect content doing its job. Now we move on to the final C, which is convert. By the time your ideal client reaches convert content, they already know you, they like you, and they trust you. The hard work has been done. Convert content only has one job left to do: to convince them that working with you is the right next step and give them a reason to take action now rather than later. Convert content is where you make the ask. Client transformation story that shows them exactly what's possible for them. The testimonial that makes them think, wow, that could be me. The offer breakdown that removes any remaining doubt about what they're actually getting from your service or program. The objection handling content that addresses the fear that has been quietly keeping them on the fence. The target emotion for convert content is desire. They should finish a piece of convert content thinking, I have to work with them. When can I get started? Now, I want to mention something here, and this is actually going to be its own full episode next week, so make sure you're following me so you don't miss out. Inside convert content, there are actually 4 different buyer types, and each one needs something slightly different to tip them over that line. The analytical buyer needs data and proof. The human connection buyer needs story and relationship. The spontaneous buyer needs excitement and momentum. And the scarcity buyer needs a genuine reason to act now rather than later. I'll be doing a complete deep dive on the 4 buyer types in next week's episode because it's genuinely one of the most powerful tools in a content strategist's toolkit. So make sure, again, that you're following the show because you don't want to miss that episode. So that's it, the 3C formula. 3 categories, 3 distinct jobs, and 3 emotional targets that work together to take someone from discovering your business to becoming a paying client. But here's the part I want you to spend a moment on because I think it's the most important and practical takeaway from today's episode. The 3 C's only work when they're balanced. And in my experience of auditing Instagram accounts, the most common imbalance I see is this. Business owners are doing way too much captivate and convert content without actually asking for the sale. They're showing up consistently and sharing really valuable content, educating, and they're building these relationships and growing their audience, but they're so focused on not being pushy or being too scared that they're going to sound salesy that they never actually invite their audience to work with them. The convert content is almost completely missing, and the result is followers who love their content and engagement that feels good, but there's no leads, and so they remain frustratingly quiet. Now, here's the thing. Convert content isn't pushy and it's not salesy. When it's done properly, it feels like the natural, inevitable next step for someone who has already been captivated and connected with. It feels like relief, not pressure. She's been waiting for the invitation, and convert content is simply giving her that invitation at the exact right moment. If your Instagram has plenty of captivate and connect content, but your inquiries aren't reflecting the effort you're putting in, this is almost certainly why. Go back and look at your last 30 posts. How many of them were actually you asking your ideal client to take that next step with you? How many of those posts had a clear, warm invitation to find out more, to book a call, or to send a DM? If the honest answer is not many, that is your next content priority. So let me leave you with this. Every piece of content you create belongs in one of the 3C categories. It's either bringing new people into your world, building the relationship with the people already in it, or inviting the people who are ready to take the next step. Captivate, connect, convert, in that order, in balance. When all 3 are working together, your Instagram finally feels like a system that's doing the work of growing your audience, building your authority, and attracting dream clients without you having to constantly think about it. Next week, I'm going all in on the 4 different buyer types inside Convert, because knowing that your audience contains 4 completely different types of buyers and being able to create content that speaks to each one of them is the difference between Convert content that actually converts and Convert content that gets ignored. You're not going to want to miss that episode. Before I let you go, I want to leave you with 2 quick things. If you've been listening to this episode and you're not completely sure whether your Instagram is set up to generate inquiries, I want to invite you to take my free Instagram assessment. It takes less than 3 minutes and it'll show you exactly where the gaps are in your current strategy and what you should focus on first. The link is in the show notes if you want to check that out. And if you're ready to stop figuring this out alone and you want a strategic partner who can take Instagram completely off your plate and turn it into a consistent inquiry channel for your business, I'd love to have that conversation with you. Book a free strategy call with me and we'll take a look at where you're at, where you want to be, and whether we're the right fit to work together. That link is in the show notes too. Thanks so much for tuning in. If this episode resonated, take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram stories. Don't forget to tag me at Andrea Maree Creative, because I love seeing who's listening and chatting with you over on Instagram. And if you haven't already, make sure you're following the show so you never miss an episode. If you really want to make my day, you can leave me a rating and review. It really helps the show to grow and reach more business owners. I hope you have an amazing week and I'll catch you in the next one.